Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the Catterall versus Prograis breakdown and prediction video. As Jack Catterall, the former world title challenger, is set to return on October 26th to take on former two-time world champion Regis Prograis in a big battle at 140 pounds. They will collide in the main event of a DAZN card that night. So before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So this fight right here, a good one at 140. And if you haven't seen my breakdown and prediction videos before, basically we discuss the fight, what it means. Then we get into each fighter individually. I ask the same questions. We talk about what they've done coming into the fight and all that. And then at the end of the video, I ask a final question, and then I give my prediction on the fight. So again, we get more into detail. So in a fight like this, we would start with the A side, which is Catterall, and then move to the B side, which is Prograis, because it's a contenders bout. It's not a world title fight. So what does this fight mean now? It's a big fight at 140. It really is. It's a crossroads fight. You got Catterall, who is knocking on the door of another title shot. You know, he got robbed a couple years back against Josh Taylor when they fought the first time for the undisputed title. He never got his rematch. He hasn't gotten another shot at a world title, but he's hot right now. He won the rematch with Taylor in his last fight, and now is coming in against Prograis, and another good solid performance is likely going to lead to a title shot. So that's big. And then you got Prograis, who, is hungry to get back into the mix. And this could be his last hurrah, because he's coming off of a devastating loss to Devin Haney. But, I think everybody would agree that Devin Haney is on that skill level, is on that pound for pound type list, and these guys are really trying to make a clean name for themselves here, to get back in the mix. And both are big names. Catterall's a good name. He needs a good victory though to get in the mix. And Prograis, that former champ that people will want to fight. He's hittable, and people will want to see him fight just to, will want to see him, and you can make a little bit of money off of him. So it's a good fight at 140. And again, 140 is one of the deepest divisions in boxing. It's top three. You got 140, you got 154, and you got heavyweight are just fucking loaded. There's a ton of talent there, a ton of fighters, and they're all, big fights are happening all around. So this is a big one right here. All right, it's a good one. It's a good size fight. So let's jump into Jack Catterall, take a look at what he's done coming into the fight. Now, we go back to the last three fights, which date back to, I think it was May of last year for Catterall, when he took on, he returned after 15 months off following the Josh Taylor controversy as he was trying to land a rematch. He took on a guy named Dara Foley, got a unanimous decision. Then he took on Jorge Linares in October of last year, and, dominated Linares, scored a couple knockdowns, retired Linares. He's got a decision in that fight. Kind of underwhelming performance, but then he returned in May and took on Josh Taylor in a much anticipated rematch. He got the unanimous decision. I thought it was a really close fight. I thought you could have scored that a draw. It was a good one, but he got the victory. And, I think it was the right call considering he got robbed in the first fight. So he's coming off the biggest win of his career. He wants to add to it by getting what would be, in my opinion, probably the second biggest win of his career, beating Prograis. And he's hungry. He's hungry. He's the favorite going in. So it's kind of a position he's not used to being in, being a solid favorite going into a big fight. So the pressure's on him. He's the A side, and we're going to see if he can win this one and pull it out. But he is hungry, and I think he is ready. I think he wants his title shot. I feel like outside of a possible third fight with Taylor at some point, I think he kind of considers the Taylor feud settled for now. And he wants a world title in a loaded division, as I said. So what does Jack Catterall need to do to win this fight? He needs the box. He needs to stay just, out of range. He needs to use the angles, in and out, land good shots, and get out. of harm's way, because Prograis is going to be looking to knock him out. I mean, plain and simple. He's going to be looking to hurt him. He's going to be looking to knock him out. So he needs to pop in and out, use the angles, box well, and try to, do what he normally does and go the distance. Be prepared for 12 hard rounds. That's what he needs to do. And I think he can be successful. Now, what does, can Jack Catterall win this fight by knockout? I'm not saying he can't. I think with his feints and his counter ability, I think he could hurt Prograis and maybe stop him on an accumulation of punches. But, I wouldn't favor that. Prograis is a tough guy. He's got a good chin. Can Catterall win a decision? Absolutely. I think he can win a decision for sure. What is more likely for Catterall if he's victorious over Regis Prograis? Is it a decision or a knockout? I think way more likely that he gets a decision if he's victorious. What does a win mean for Jack Catterall? And again, it means everything. Yes, he's coming off the biggest win of his career, beating Taylor. This would be number 2, but it would extend him into the serious title mix, and he would cap off a really good year, scoring the 2 biggest wins of his career against 2 former world champions. So that would be big. And so a win here would be big for him. What does a loss mean for him? It would completely derail him, because I think Catterall's still in that phase of we don't know how good he really is. We saw him beat Taylor conceivably twice now, but if he were to lose to Prograis, I think a lot of people, the jury is out on Prograis already, that we know how good he really is. With Catterall, we don't, and a loss would really hurt him. It would derail him immensely. I mean, he should have got the decision against Taylor, and it took him 2 years just to get a rematch and to be in this position without even getting a title shot. And he should have beat the undisputed champ at the time. So it's taken him a while because he doesn't have an attractive style. He's not a big name, doesn't have a lot of pop, so that's pretty much what's going on, what it is with him and what does he need to do. So now we switch over to the B side, the former 2-time world champion Regis Prograis, and break him down. We talk about his last 3 fights coming in that date back to November of 2022, when he got a big win defeating Jose Zepeda by I think it was an 11th round knockout, as he captured the WBC title, becoming a 2-time champion. It was a vacant belt. It was a good performance. He broke down Zepeda in what was considered to be a 50-50 fight, broke him down, really got his stock on the rise again. People started taking him real serious. And then he was, I think he was supposed to fight, he might have been in line to fight Catterall or somebody in June of last year, and instead had to take on replacement opponent Danielito Zorrilla. He got hurt in the first round, and then it was a very dull, ugly fight where neither guy really seemed to want to commit. And a lot of people thought Prograis lost that fight. He ended up winning a 12-round split decision, but it was controversial, and he would retain his belt. And that led to his last fight, which is in December of last year, when he defended the title against Devin Haney, and he got absolutely dominated in that fight. Haney just picked him apart, knocked him down a couple times. He just totally dominated Prograis over 12 rounds, one-sided decision, and Prograis would lose his belt, and that would be the second loss of his career. So he's had 10 months off in between fights. We're going to see what he can do in this one. He's 4 years older than Catterall. He's definitely got the power advantage, but in terms of height, I think he's 1 inch taller, but he's given up 2 inches in reach. So essentially, these guys are almost the same size. But it's going to be interesting to see how he comes in, because again, he's coming off of a one-sided defeat. The first loss to Josh Taylor that he had years ago was a very close decision in Taylor's kind of backyard in the UK in the World Boxing Super Series finals. That loss to Haney was a dominating one. He got his ass whipped in that fight. So we're going to see how he bounces back from that after this 10.5 month layoff. What does he need to do to win the fight? He needs to cut the ring off. He needs to be on his toes, not have the heavy feet that he's had the last couple fights. And he really needs to cut the ring off and stalk, but by cutting off Catterall's angles and trying to, when Catterall steps in to punch, trying to hit him. Now, punch for punch, maybe jab for jab with a boxer, because Catterall's going to try to outbox him, and he needs to try to throw off Catterall's rhythm. I say jab for jab and then try to unload and land that big left hand early in the fight to really make a statement. I think that's his key to victory right there. And he definitely needs to try to win by knockout, in my opinion. He needs to try to end Catterall without it going to a decision. Now, can he win by knockout? Absolutely. You know, Catterall, haven't really seen him hurt, but Prograis is a knockout fighter. He's a power puncher. So he needs I think he can win by knockout. Can he win a decision? It's going to be tough. If he wins a decision, I think it's going to be a close one. So what's more likely if Prograis pulls off the upset and beats Catterall? Is it going to be a decision or a knockout? I think a knockout's more likely for Prograis if he wins this fight. So can Regis Prograis, or what does a win mean for Regis Prograis in this fight? It means a lot. He's right back in the mix. If he beats him, he's right back in the mix. He can get fights. He'll be considered a threat, and that's what he wants to be. Even at 35, he'll still be considered a threat, and because he's got a big name, because he has an attractive style, and he looks beatable after the Devin Haney fight, people are going to want to fight him. So a win means a lot for him because it keeps him in the mix. What does a loss mean for Prograis? Another loss here, especially a convincing one, and I think Regis Prograis, you take him out of that serious mix at 140. That could be all she wrote for him. If he gets dominated in this fight, he's going to be looked at as a stepping stone after this. So I really think, this is kind of his last hurrah, and a loss really hurts him. So we've broken down both fighters. My last question before my prediction is it better for boxing if Jack Catterall wins this fight or Regis Prograis? And to be honest, it's not going to be bad for boxing in either direction, but I think it's better if Catterall wins just because we still don't know how good he is. It could lead to bigger fights, fights that, people aren't going to know who's going to win, the kind of deal. He's younger. He's 31. I think we haven't seen the best of him, or at least we don't know yet. And Prograis, we kind of already know. And I think most people feel we've seen the best of Regis Prograis already. So I think it's better for boxing if Catterall wins. And now finally, my prediction. Who's going to win this 140-pound junior welterweight fight between Jack Catterall and Regis Prograis? And given they're essentially the same size, they're both southpaws, I really think Jack Catterall is going to outbox Regis Prograis. I think he's going to beat him to the punch. I think he's more closer to his prime, at 31 than Prograis is at 35. I think Prograis got heavy feet. He's going to be looking for the knockout. And I think Catterall is going to be popping in and out, landing good shots. But I do believe Regis Prograis has a serious puncher's chance. If he catches Catterall clean, he can end him. He definitely can end him. Because the one thing that Prograis, I think, doesn't really have to worry about too much is Catterall's power. Catterall's probably got the same kind of power that Devin Haney has, and he just kind of knocked Devin Haney hurt Prograis, but not super bad. He beat him up, but he didn't hurt him super bad. And I don't think Catterall's even as heavy of a puncher as Haney, and Haney's not a big power puncher. So I think Prograis can take more chances and go after Catterall more. But he needs to, not just go for broke, because Catterall can land something significant, and Catterall's got good timing, and a perfectly timed shot can lead to a devastating power punch that hurts you badly. So I absolutely think he's got a puncher's chance. So for me, my overall prediction, I'm going Jack Catterall by unanimous decision over 12 rounds, but I do think Regis Prograis is a live underdog. So it should be a good one. Saturday, October 26th on DAZN in the main event. This has been the Catterall versus Prograis breakdown and prediction video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing, and you've been hit with the truth.